zoom in quite well. This is Financial Management. Book is by Eugene Brigham and Houston. Brigham's book is actually legendary in finance and financial management. The real book is called Financial Management Theory and Practice. That was the book which I studied 20 years ago when I was in college, when I was your age, when I was second and third year student. And the book was 1,100 pages. That's where we studied real finance. Now this is known as the Baby Brigham, which is, not the real one. This is tiny little one. It's the short, quick, easy version of it. And that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a quick overview, quick survey, maybe for a few weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. We're going to begin with chapter 1, 2, 5, and then we see how we go from there. And we move on chapter 1, 1. So we do chapter 1. And now we have section 1. Finance. What is finance? Again, difficult, tricky, but the short, quick, easy answer is money management. The science, the subject of managing money. That's what finance is all about. Finance is about money. How to get it, how to spend it, how to manage it. That's it. That's finance. Now, 1A, page 4. What's the difference between finance and economics and accounting? Accounting is about recording transactions in terms of money. In accounting, you just record it. You say what happens. In economics, you are focused on resources, on real resources, on tables and books and markers and cameras. In economics, you're focused on real assets, on production. You're focused also on households. You're focused also on the government. You're focused on businesses. And finance is in between. You want to deal with the real and the production side of things, but you also want to deal with the money side of things. So finance is a very, very recent field, developed and separated only in the last 20 or 30 years, which has separated recently actually from economics, and is separated recently from financial economics. So modern finance is an outgrowth separated from financial economics. So what do we have in an organization? In an organization you have CFO. Let me see which is this one. This is 1B. 1B. And CFO is simply Chief Financial Officer. Now we're talking about businesses, we're talking about corporation, and usually number 2 or number 3 in the corporation is the Chief Financial Officer. He is responsible for financial decisions. So now we need to say what is financial decision. Yeah, I got a brand new red color. So to write financial decision. And financial decision is a decision about money. To buy or not to buy. To buy a house is a financial decision. To buy this little Sony camera with which we record is a financial decision. Okay? And financial decision is decision whether to spend money or not to spend money, how to get it, and how to invest it, and so on. Basically, financial decisions require the most elementary economic decision of benefit versus cost. In a financial decision, you want to make sure that the benefits will be bigger, higher or more than the cost. And that's what financial decisions are all about. Now, 1.1c is about finance as a subject. So let's write out here finance and see what is finance as a subject. And the first major field or area of finance is called financial management. Let's write it out in red. I'll just shorten finance as financial management. Now, financial management is actually managing the finances of businesses. Sometimes the business can be small, sometimes the business can be large. Large businesses are usually referred to as corporations, and it's often financial management is known simply as corporate finance. So I put in a good equal sign. It's the same as corporate finance. And in the good old days of 50 or 100 years ago, I'm putting in a new sign, not used, but that's the meaning of simply business finance. Business finance. So, all three, financial management, corporate finance, essentially mean business finance. And business finance is associated predominantly with managing the assets and managing the liability of corporations. That's why finance requires understanding of all assets and understanding of all liabilities and understanding in general of accounting. And that's why the next chapter, chapter 2, is about accounting and financial statements. Number 2, I will be explaining actually a lot more, is the textbook says capital markets, but that's not really good. Now it's becoming obvious that the textbook authors weren't sharp and good enough understanding the differences. And I'll be explaining now for you to understand. The second field is financial economics. And one of those important fields is the one which you've studied. And the one you've studied is called financial markets. So, a subfield of financial economics is financial markets. Okay, so financial markets is an important field of financial economics. A separate, very important field of financial economics is financial institutions. Okay, and the third important field is financial instruments. All right, continues the explanation now. The three together, financial market, financial institutions, and financial instruments, is called jointly the financial system. Financial system we call this the financial system. and now we define financial economics is simply the subject which studies the financial system. All right? So far good? Now we continue with the explanation of what's wrong with capital markets. Financial markets are themselves divided. So I put in here a little blue arrow, and one type of financial market is called capital markets. Capital markets. And number two is money markets. So capital markets is an important part of financial markets. The other important part of financial markets is money market. So all financial markets are divided into capital markets and money market. Capital market is a market for long-term instruments. Long-term meaning maturing more than a year. And money market is financial market, again, financial market for short-term instruments, those that mature within 1 year. So what he tried to tell you is that the second field was basically capital markets, and then he kind of like says, oh, but it also studies financial institutions. They didn't mention that it actually studies stocks, bonds, and other financial instruments like derivatives. So the correct answer is, the second important field is financial economics, which studies the financial system, whose elements are markets, institutions, and instruments. And markets themselves are divided into capital markets and money markets. And that's number two. The third one is investments. And investments is simply the decision or the purchase of financial instruments. The purchase of assets for the purpose of return. The key to investments is return. In investments, the concept of profit does not exist. There is no such concept in investments. Concept of profit is not exist. For investments, the only thing you get from investment is return. Now the return's got the part of capital gain and interest and rent and so on. That's a separate subject. But to understand is that in investments, you get return. In business, when you have economic operation, you get profit. So profit is an economic concept. Return is the financial concept. Okay, so these three are the primary in finance. Now, within investments, requires understanding of financial management and requires understanding of financial economics, and you need to understand both. That's why investments is considered to be a much higher level course, much more difficult. You need to know completely management, and you need to know economics, and only then you can handle investments. Now let's move on to investments and see some fields with investments. That's right, 3A. In 3A they have security analysis. In security analysis is simply trying to determine the